Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Alan and thanks for joining me. What I've got for you on this video is a bit of a brief showcase of perhaps a different army to the ones you've seen before, and perhaps a slightly different army to the ones I would normally do. If you've watched any other content on this channel, you'll see that I've done a lot with ancients and up to Middle Age, or the Middle Ages in terms of wargames figures and projects, etc. I tend to do more preparation for projects than actual gaming. I think basically that tells you a little bit about what I enjoy about our hobby. What I've done here is to sort of continue the theme of using perhaps armies that aren't, shall we say, particularly mainstream, and just having a little bit of fun. So what I've done here is to do a Cold War army of Greeks. Winston Churchill once wrote that we should not say that Greeks fought like heroes, but in future we shall say that heroes fought like Greeks. And I've carried that sort of saying with me, and I've done a lot with Greek armies over the years, and I just love the historical side of it. And again, I thought this was a little bit of fun, was to try and do something different. So what we've got here is an army which is basically just a couple of platoons. So this is like a reinforced company, really, of mechanized troops. What we've got in the background what we've got here are two platoons with some support, a couple of Milans, heavy machine gun. And if we go back to where I started the video, you'll see that we've got 5 AMX-30s. Now, this is a tank, I don't know why particularly, but I just love the way that this tank is designed. What I've actually done here is to take the Battlefront model, put some embellishment on with a little bit of camouflage netting there, put the Greek, so obviously national symbol on the side. I haven't done much more than that. This is a brush painted camouflage job with a little bit of highlighting, but I still think it's quite effective. The model's quite good. What I do with all of my plastic models, and I don't have that many of them, is I put a little bit of lead weight in the model just to give it a bit of sort of presence on the battlefield and to make sure that you don't just knock it willy-nilly. These aren't too heavy. They're nowhere near as heavy as a metal tank or whatever, but they're probably getting to the point in terms of weight where they're similar to a resin model. Lots of people paint camouflage on tanks with airbrushes and similar. I think you can get a very good result with a brush, and it's a lot more convenient, a lot more controllable. And all I've done, as I say, is do a darker colour, put some highlights on. Occasionally I'll put a wash on just to bring out the relief. But I think in general terms, as a gaming piece, I'm very happy with that. I did this army with the 7 days to the Rhine rules in mind, and again got it ready. I've painted some Russian airborne as well to go with it, had a little scenario about the defence of Thermopylae which I thought might be quite interesting, and never really done much with it. But I just like having the figures, and one day no doubt I'll play the game. What I've got here as well is some 15mm French troops just painted in Greek uniforms. They're probably the closest approximation I could find at the time, and the bases there, which I think I'm going to do some more work on just to get rid of a lot of the brown, but those bases are Boeda or Bayeda, however you want to pronounce it, textured bases that I've obviously used to embellish, and behind them we've got some AMX 10Ps which were supplied by France, and I think starting sometime in like 1970 and up, and the Greeks I think were one of the first nations to purchase those. Interesting models. I believe that they are amphibious armoured personnel carriers, and the Greeks, as some of you may know, still operate as conscription, so the army is still technically quite large, and I just thought from a modern sort of wargaming perspective it was quite an interesting one to show you. I think the figures themselves are quite reasonable in terms of the painting. Put that one into the middle there. And I've got little indicators on the back of the bases just to indicate where they've come from in terms of the units. And I just think it's a little bit of fun. I'm not convinced about the method, shall we say, the merits of wargaming Cold War period, particularly with it being quite close to current events. But I just enjoyed building the models, and maybe that's why I haven't actually done much more with it other than paint the models. If you've got any questions about the army or how things are done, please give me a shout, and next videos from me will be more about the modelling, I think, and painting. So if you've got any particular thoughts about what you'd like to see me do, I've got lots of different choices here. Give me a shout, put a comment in, and I'll do my best to do something that you'll all find interesting. The buildings at the back, just before I close, I think they're forged in battle, 15mm. Again, I've got a little bit of work to do on the base, but I think just as a sort of fun little scenario, this could work out quite nicely. Anyway, thanks for watching. As always, give us a shout if there's anything you want, and click the subscribe button and tell me that this is something you find interesting. Thanks very much.